Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Right here, 1978 Super Beetle. And this hopefully is going to be a fairly easy-ish episode. I say this and regret it now immediately that it came out of my mouth. And I could edit this video and do another intro, but no! We've already done way too many of them. So what we're doing with this one, it originally, you know, not a big deal, but it had a bigger work scope plan for it. And that's kind of, I don't know if you saw the last video or not. That's why I was sitting in the corner. Talked to the owner. We narrowed the work scope for reasons. And the only thing that is going to get accomplished currently, to my knowledge, in this, well, at least in this video, but currently to my knowledge with this car, is we're going to get it running right. It has a starting issue when it's hot. We're going to throw a new starter in. He thinks it's a starter. I said we could put a hot start relay in. We're just going to do a starter. And a hot cold start relay on it, just because it could be the ignition, but digressing, regressing, it will get a new starter. The other thing is the engine. Apparently, the car does run. It did, well, it drove in here, but it, to the owner, lacks power. I have not driven it. The only thing I have done to this car so far is pull the jets, well, the main jets, and they're too small. It's a 1776 engine, and it has 115s in it. So that's telling me that someone bought off-the-shelf carbs and just threw them in. And funny enough, the car that you can't see, you probably see it in the background of the videos, but same scenario with that. It's also a 1776 running stock carbs. This thing needs at least a minimum. If the engine's a, 1776, I have no specs on the engine, don't know the compression ratio, so I'm doing it blind. And I'm just going to go with a base jetting. Going to put 125s in it, check the idle jets. Haven't done that. We're going to pull the carbs because I got to do spark plugs. And hopefully it has 55s in the idles. If not, we're going to put 55s in the idle jets. But with that said, join me back, car. Let me, get this thing in the air. I'll start ripping into this thing and hopefully getting it, running and responsive. Welcome to the terrible under hood filming angle. Like I said, I pulled the mains out of this thing. I have to do spark plugs anyway. So we're just going to rip these carbs off and see what we have going on. The one thing I do have to say I do like is my inability to figure out how to get an air filter off. What is going on? Stay. This is one of the first cars I've gotten in so far. Well, technically the first one on the channel, that doesn't have the velocity stacks on it. Usually when people put these carbs on, they leave those stacks on. I don't know why either. They do. Anyway, take them off if you're running air filters. Anyway, I'm okay. I'm happy with that. The other thing I'm happy with is I don't have to build out these carbs. They're already on the car, obviously. But digressing, regressing, I want to pull them and see what we actually have going on. The main jets, like I said, I did pull. They're 115s. These are 8 MPs. They got MP plates, but they're Webbies, Webbery stamped on them. So I'm not really sure what we have going on, but they should be 40 mils. They better be 40 mils, because if they're running a 115 in them and they're 44s, well, problems. But anyway, digressing, regressing, that is lovely. Like I said, this is the first time I'm looking at this car as well. The fuel system obviously is going to get changed. I don't like it. There's fuel pressure regulator fuel pressure gauge. A regulator is hiding down here. And it has a mechanical pump. Told the owner there should be no reason for this setup. but he swears the last mechanic put it on because it was blowing down the float bowls. I don't know. Also, it used to be a fuelie car. If you can tell, there's a bubble. So I don't know. Well, I suggested to the owner that, hey, I'm going to put an electronic pump on this thing. It's just easier. Get rid of this, clean it up some. And he fought me for a bit because he had nothing but problems out of an electronic pump. I'm curious if they went to the mechanical pump because the factory electronic pump they were running for the fuel injection, which obviously blows a lot of PSI. I think they're like 30 or 40. It's not really that much. But I'm wondering if they never took that out of the system and that was the reason he had nothing but problems out of fuel pressure blowing down the float bowls. I don't know. I do know someone who's worked on this car. But I don't know if that person was the cause or the lead for the diagnostic on it. Anyway, the other thing, and the reason I was bringing it under here, we have the throttle linkage nicely and the wires loom running over the linkage. So, I don't know why you would do it that way. If anything, I'd run it under. If anything, I'd push it up for idle. But yeah, that harness is awesome. Belt seems fine. You gotta give a positive. All right. Let me start pulling these carbs. They have the whatever's on here, brass bolts, brass nuts, brass. So there should be 10s. Or are they 11s? They're 11s, I lied. Perfect. We are starting off amazingly. What are you? 10, 12, 11. Indeed, they are 11s. But yeah, I said this in the intro, or I meant to say it, or I should have said it. The reason it's in here is because it has a problem idling. It's not responsive. But a bunch of little odds and ends issues. Nothing, that I would say is crazy, but shouldn't be having any issues. But like I said, the biggest problem with me, or what I've noticed, is the jetting at the carburetors are wrong. So if the carb jets are wrong, I'm wondering if they are even set correctly. We'll bench set them outside the car. So we're idle screw touched the doobly-doo and half turn back in. Yeah, half turn in is the base setting for any of these carburetors. I'm going to fight these nuts. This is going fantastically. Yeah, the fuel lines were connected. Yeah, I think the carbs went on when the engine was in the car. Just going on the orientation of these hose clamps. Typically, I would say the hose clamps would be orientated in a sidewards manner because you'd be building them on a bench. And I'm guilty of that. Pull that hose clamp just because we're not going to use that style. Now it's a little easier to get to that nut. There's the wiring for this thing. It's not, now don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing on it, but it could have been a little bit of a cleaner install, in my opinion. By a little bit, I mean a lot of it. A lot of the wiring is just all over the place. It's not really tucked. Now, granted, you don't have to, tuck everything. It's not a chip foose car, it's not going to win no Riddler award. But, it's the extra 5 minutes. sometimes that translates into, like I said, I'm huge on serviceability. I don't really honestly want anybody to work over myself, because I service cars all over this great country. They come to me, they get worked on, and I know they get serviced somewhere else after like the initial fix. What I don't want is someone bashing me and my work and my performance on, well, just what I'm complaining about. Like, why would you do it this way? Why would you do it that way? Look, I'm not an engineer here. We all like to rag on engineers about putting things places. It's true. They're horrible people. Like, why would you engineer? Sir, my screwdriver gets stuck. That was a joke, guys. Anyway, put that oil cap on before I completely screw up and drop something in there. Heating. Give myself a little more room. But yeah, I'm just kind of ranting right now. Like I said, my biggest thing is I don't want anybody to work behind me and say, hey, you know, that guy puts on a good show for the people on his little YouTube channel, but he actually has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And granted, sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but also, I do stand by my work. More so than I think I should. I thought I had a wrench for this. I do, except these are dumb. Let me get the other side off. These are Tef nuts, so that's a good thing. Those studs are huge, which is also a good thing. Pull that plate, at least they'll give me, hopefully, better access to that bottom bolt. And it does, I at least can see it now. Yeah, those plates hang over just enough to be annoying. So pull them if you need to. I typically, well, if you watch my videos, I've lost the ratchet. Oh. If you watch my videos, I don't obviously put those plates on till the car is ready for them. So basically, carbs go on, linkage goes on. We started with this one because it was going to be a pain in the butt. I don't know if I'm going to run these bolt nuts still or if I'm going to put it on my own. Flanged, I do like these, but sometimes they're a little more trouble than they're worth. All right, let's go. Ooh, annoyed me on my phone. Nobody important. Why would you run the electrical like this? I mean, I get it. You didn't care. But come on. You're hurting me right now. That's what's in that loom. That should be coil. Maybe charging. Again, more stuff I wasn't planning on doing, but I'll just do because why not? again, I said I'm a sucker to myself because I want these things to be right. And also, I've already had nothing against the gentleman who owns the car, but I already had the. I didn't expect it to be that much conversation. And at the beginning of the evening, I'm used to that by now, but you know what? That's the reason some of this work scope got lessened because, well, pricing. And don't get me wrong, I don't feel I'm that expensive. So, let's get this out. I'm trying to free up as much room as I can right now. Because if you haven't noticed, they are tight working in these areas. That wasn't even tight. I have high hopes. It's easier to disconnect them from down here, or disconnect them from here than it is anywhere else. And at the same time, we have to have them disconnect. Let's see, is this one tight? See, this one is tight. Put you back in there. And the other one was not. There we go. This is, well, spark plug change. This is one of the reasons we cut holes, or people cut holes into side firewalls, so that they could change their plugs. Because if you don't have them on these duals, you're going through this process to change spark plugs. So, well, you know, whatever, say hypothetically, an hour to change spark plugs in a Beetle, 20 minutes, if that, turns into like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Not only are you taking the carbs off, but you have to resync them. Because you've effectively screwed with everything at that point. Some people don't like their cars cut. The 1776 back there, the other one, is going to be the same way. But I'm in the same predicament with that car, which is fine. I always find it amazing to me, this is just me rambling, that I can have two customers with the exact same car. I would say almost the exact same problem. One fully receptive on let's get her done, and the other one, and another one cutting back services. And I'm not gonna, you know, it sounds like I'm ragging on people. Kind of am, but I'm not, in a way. It's not because, I don't even know how to put this. It's not because the price is high. Or I don't have the money for service or anything like that. It's they don't value the value that I put on fair market is not the value some people establish in their heads. This isn't 1975, and this isn't 1975 prices. All right, guys, carbs are off. Driver's side was a pain. You might be able to see the nice jumbled mess of stuff that's in here with everything overtwined. I think that's brake lights or running lights. Blinker, maybe. Don't know, but that's lengthened. We got this wire, which I don't know what the hell it's for. That's going in here. But what I need to do, get the car in the air and disconnect that fuel line. start with that. This way I can start getting rid of this fuel system that's on here. Also, if I sound like I'm less than enthused, it's because, well, my stomach is on the fritz. I don't know what I did to myself. It's self-induced, obviously. Usually stomach issues are. But, still got dripping stuff. Fuel. At least we got a filter under here. So that's good. The other line's clogged or patched because, like I said, this was a fuelie. So it is reversed. All right. Let me clog that. This heater isn't even connected. That's good. That one is. Starter looks fairly new. Doesn't matter, we're changing it. Customer wanted starter. We're going to put a starter in. Valve cover leaking. These are bolt-ons. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, we're just washing the engine on this side. That's good. What's everything else look like? He did say he had front end issues. It's wandery. Well, that doesn't even have an eccentric on the other side, so that's good. He said he had someone look at it, which doesn't, well, I guess this was an AC car too. Wow. Wow. There's the condenser is under here still. Lowering shocks. Unsupported brake line. I notified him of that. He's less than, oh yeah, the evaporator's in here too. I think that's what that's called. Yeah, floating brake lines. You know how I feel about those, but it's not going to get addressed. What the hell's this wire? And the bushings look good. No cotter in the suspension. There's one there. Missing a cotter. This was fuel pump, another fuel line. Or another fuel filter, so it's double filtered. There's some crap in there, but nothing major. Yeah, I'm curious if that's what they did. I'm also curious if this pump is going to give me power. Because that'd be cool if I don't have to figure out how to get power. Let me do what I said I was going to do and disconnect this fuel line. Because that'd be the right thing to do, or the easier thing to do. So I stop leaking fuel all over the floor. Someone commented, how do I keep my floor so clean? They're not clean. It's just, they're a mess. It's just I get cleaning aids like that. I do not know if I have, never mind. Just gonna say I don't know if I had 5/16. Because we learned in the last episode of me screwing around with things, it's 5/16, not quarter. After I bent all new stuff. Jumbled mess under here. Get that heater tube out of the way. Instant armpit. Because why wouldn't it be? There we go. The correct one's on. Let's just run back. Get on there. Coil over rear shocks. I don't know if they're going for ride height, boost, or comfort. Fixed. Stop leaking now. The tingles are starting. Starting? Anywho. Whew, yeah. If you ever get gas down the armpits, you know exactly what I'm talking about. How the hell did they run it? Get rid of that junk. Well, it's still in there, isn't there? Nope, I brought it up here. Can I do anything with it? Nope. All right, fuel line in. Let me get it. Now I need it. All right, fuel line in. Is also ran delightfully, whatever. Like, you could have shortened this rubber line and made this steel line look a hell of a lot better. But you just didn't. Why? Hell if I know. Junk. What do we got? It is electronic. Let's see what kind of electronics. Not the ones I run, but the ones I run. Not the same brand. It looks like older. Yeah, that wire's for the charging. Oh, a zip tie. Freeze some of that up. I'm going to extend all that wiring. This is the fun part where I start to lose my butt because I'm actually not, well, I don't want to say I'm not charging for this, but I am to a certain extent. I'm not charging enough for what I'm doing. All right, that's fuel line. Fuel pump. Good thing about that is we're going electric now. So let me just get this damn thing out of the way. The other thing I'm doing, I'm just getting rid of, if you watch this channel, you know I hate the coils living here. Why put the coil in the hottest part of the engine? I don't know, but people like to do it. It's not going to live here. It is going to go away. I don't know why I put the strip cap back on because I need access. Negative side of the coil, ignition. Hot side of the coil, if I can get this damn wire out. Then I get lengthened. All these should be 13s, hopefully. I don't think I loosened the lower. I think I only loosened the upper. Immediately warm and fuzzies. Yeah, that's my luck. I almost guarantee, I think I said this thing had, I'm hoping the front's still wired for the electric pump. And the owner said he was fighting an electric pump. Unless that electric pump had a regulator on it, fuel pressure, I think it was just running the factory fuel injection pump. Because I don't see any signs of a regulator under there. And the owner did say that after he put on the that regulator back here, but he said he put it on after he put on this pump. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still, you know, whatever to the details as well. All this wiring is going to get redone. Screw it. We're already this deep, guys. Let's just keep digging deeper. All right. Yeah, because if I run this to here, or even here, or up there, or somewhere that's not where it currently is, everything will be a lot more better. I have to, oh, this is a stupid one. I got the 13 that goes that way. I'm thinking it's a 13. I think I said this, I'm relocating the coil. I hate them living in here. You'll never see one of my builds use the stupid bracket. And hey, if you guys want to use them, use them. I do not. Jeez. Save this coil, but yeah, it'll go up here. That's off. Whatever. Pump. I would say that's the right push rod in there. I was only sort of oh, here's the other fun thing. He said he had this pump added. Obviously it's not the original engine, but he said he had this pump added. I'll measure this one in a bit. With the pump. I'm hoping that pedestal cooperates. It's not already broken. Don't know. It's short. So did they just cut it, or is that end stuck in there? If you don't know what I'm talking about, the ends of these things like to break off. Nope, we're good. All right. First step in this progress train. Find brake clean, because I'm out. Fuel pump delete. My amazing luck never fails. I say this because I just searched pretty much my entire shop of places I would have put these block off plates, because I knew I had two of them and I saw them recently. So I found one, which isn't new, but it would work for, say, temporary purposes until I, say, located or found the other two. Well, all things being me, I searched for longer than I thought I should have to find these things, which I knew I had in stock. So I did the right thing, and immediately, after about a half hour of looking for these stupid things in every place I thought I would put them, ordered two new ones. Expedited shipping, yada, 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 $40. Just to find them. Do I want to say am I going to cancel the order? No. Am I going to lose those? Probably. Yeah. But do I want to say it's about how today's going? Do I want to say I'm impressed at this sheer coincidence? No. Do I want to say I was expecting to actually place the order, find these things, and then complain about it? Yep, sure was. So I guess the moral of the story of whatever the hell I'm saying is I knew by spending $40 I would find the 2 plates that I currently have. Because that is my luck. And lo and behold, that worked. Also, RTV. I say this in all my videos. Don't go crazy. I put enough on to make it look like it's a silicone gasket, both sides. Install it. Let me clean my hands. Again, if you're using RTV, use the damn, the whatever, easy removal stuff. I'm also going to probably have to buy another, nope, don't. I was going to say, I'm probably going to have to buy another grease gun because that grease gun, the end fell off of it. And instead of me doing the right thing and immediately putting it back on, I just remembered it fell off when I looked at it right now. Boop. Let's get some hardware. It's the wrong size hardware. These, if you know, these block-off plates, you can drill them and put a vent in or vent them. I don't. We just run out of here. I was got a complaint that the owner had. He said that I guess after driving it hard, oil finds places, makes its way places. That doesn't make sense either. It begins to leak. And I told him that I didn't actually look at his car. Well, I mean, I did, but I didn't all at the same time. But he said after like high RPMs or something like that, it tends to leak oil. So this is going away. And we're going to do a puke tube like I always do. Those filters, because it's breathing out, they're designed to filter in, not filter out. What happens is they end up internally clogging just because moisture and stuff like that usually, or oil vapor. And eventually it's like an asthmatic running up a hill. Doesn't work out that well. Block-off plates installed. We managed to accomplish one thing. Oh, today is going swimmingly. Now let's put the rotor back on. All right. Fuel lines, I'm going to fuel line. This wire I really don't like, but I mean, it's good enough. All these wires, let me extend them. Just because there's no good way to put them. With those carbs. I mean, I could run them over the top. I might do that. If I can get away from electrical, I will. I don't know why you'd run them that way, though. Oh, because you wanted to keep, because you didn't want to extend the wires to the coil. Because instead of being mounted up here by this badge, which I don't know how this badge is held in. Oh, it's just potted in. We'll reinstall it. I won't forget it. I just don't want to break it. Yeah, instead of running it the right way, with the carburetors, you wanted to move the coil. All right, we're still probably going to have to extend, but it's not going to be nearly as much of a pain in the butt. Because, like I said, the coil's going to go here. So that'd be good. This would be good. Yeah. Just a little bit of extension. I'm much more okay with this. Mainly because it's going to be cleaner. Alright, let me drill into this port. Doesn't have the port, the diag port. I'm going to secure this wire to where I feel it should go, and then we'll start screwing around with it after that. But anyway, hold on. Because we haven't done anything. Those screws looking far. Those screws look far in. Words. I already know what the mains are. I don't know what the idles are. And I'm curious if mainly I'm curious what we're running in here, because they're either really fat or really thin, or they could just be normal and they don't know how to tune. Whoever built these. Get that O-ring before I lose it. Whoop. All right, we got terrible eyesight. '50s. So you're definitely not going to see the little 50, but they're 50s. Am I even showing you the 50? Yeah. Trust me, they're 50s. So idle jet too small. Set that there, and then main jets, like I said, I pulled the mains. The emulsion tubes are good. They're F11s, and the correction jets are 200s. I typically don't stray around from them, but yeah, the main jet was a 115. Again, I doubt you'll be able to see it, but that's a 115. Pretty sure I showed you the right one. Probably not. Where the hell is it? Try that again. Focus. 115. So yeah, we'll swap those out. Swap the idle jets out. I think I got 125s and 50s. 55 jets. And there's 140s. That's for another project. And 125s. Without knowing what this car is, this is the base, say, tuning I'm going with. Instead of, say, going, you know, ham on it. It's a safe tune. The owner of that red car behind the post, he also has 1776, but I have more specs on that engine. This engine, I just know it's 1776, so we'll see what this gets us. The idle jet should get us regardless. In the area of where I need it, those seem really far in for a 50 jet. Half, one. It's almost a full turn. It's like 3/4. Half, one, 1.5. Huge tuning issue. And what the hell are these? They're MPs. I mean, I saw that. Well, they're Webers? Are they Webers or are they MPs? They're actually, they're Webers. They got an MP tag on them, though. Trying to find your series. What the hell you actually are. This gasket can go away. 40. Yeah, they're 40. See if I can read that one any better. Oop, turn it around. I don't want to screw up the linkage. Can I read this one any better? Hey, washers. 40 IDF. Yep. Okay. They are 40s. Hard to make it out on that carb. Okay. I got to change the battery, but where we're at right now is I'm going to get this thing set up to where run the wiring, mount a coil, fix a fuel line because this just is janky. Oh, we don't even need that fuel line because we're going to go straight up from the back and do T's. Still going to run rubber, but better because, well, we're just feeding from the back. Typically, if I run dual carbs, you've probably seen it if you watch this video, I'm feeding, say, this carburetor, the driver's side carb, and then it feeds out the back port. Here, I'll just show you. Basically, I put a nipple on this, so it feeds in, it'll feed the driver's side carb, and then it loops around and feeds the passenger side carb. With electric fuel pump, because I'm feeding from the backside, I just tee it, brace it and tee it. So it's a cleaner install, and it should be a lot happier. And like I said, it cleans up the engine base so much more. But let me get that fuel line out. Get rid of these gaskets because we got new ones. Don't reuse gaskets unless you are absolutely in a pinch to reuse them. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes they can be reused. Like these are nice, sort of. I mean, they came off, and they're supple still. But typically, don't reuse gaskets because you'll create more of a work for yourself down the road. Ask me how I know. I've done it more than I like to count. Caveat on my own stuff. Disclaimer. I'll forget to add that in the video. Got to get new plugs because, well, never pulled these before. D8EA. Long reach, 18 millimeter? Well, on the hex. Okay. Gotta make parts on it anyway. I'll be back. Just want to say, the engine's also running super. If you can see, it's lean. Healthy, but lean. That porcelain is on the hot side. So, at least going with my jetting looks, you know, eyeballs, yeah, it's definitely on the lean side. So, that probably runs hot too. All right, let me get some parts. Wiring is, well, rough. I'm going to finish it up when I do the, we'll get the carbs on. The runs are lengthened. It's ran where I want it to go, but I want the carbs on, set, you know, correctly. Before I terminate the ends of these things. So we got oil pressure, charge, you know, field, and then obviously the back to battery charge wire. So everything is, I guess, as tight as I can physically make it without going completely overkill with it, because everything, you know, it's an escalating thing to where everything goes terribly wrong if you keep, you know, going at it. Like I said, I'm doing it out of because I am not a fan of it, and I don't think it's right. Right now, jets, pliers. Rejet these carbs, get these carbs back on, and then we'll be one step closer to having a running engine. And hopefully by that, it's a correct running engine. Simply, it just twists off. They're pushing. Woo, let's not drop that. These are the mains. We'll pull these out. Like I said, the car was running. It did drive in here under its own chooch. We're going to 125 on this. It did, like I said, it did make it under its own devices, but like I said, showing, you know, the 115's too small for a 1776, and the 50 mains are too small. So I'm also assuming, they just push in. If you watch this channel, you've seen me do this before. But yeah, so I'm assuming we're going to re-bench set these carbs. I think I said that already. It's going to be, the way you preset them is you go, your throttle stop, you seat it, basically seat it, that screw, seat it to the stop, and then a half turn. And then that is a preset. Now, you don't have to, like anything, you don't have to moon tune it. You just have to make sure it's tight. I don't know if I said this or not. It's been, well, it's actually been a day since recording last. I did check the wire under the engine, fuel tank, whatever, fuel pump wire. It is still a 12 volt hot wire. So that in itself is awesome. Pulling out the 50s. I'm going to put 55s in. Yeah, if you have 50s and 115s, I don't know, I've seen these ship with 55s before, but usually the 50s in the idles and the 115s in the main jets are an off-the-shelf jet that all these things seem to come with. Now, I don't recommend doing this. Unless you're careful. That slot that's in these things, I don't know if it even pick up. There's a slot in these things. If they don't hold in your collector, your holder, just spread them out some. You don't need to go, you can break them if you spread them too far. But the reason I spread them is just so that when or if I ever have to pull these things again, they are, well, going to come out with the cap, the holder, and not be left in the carburetor. Especially if I try to do this while it's on the car, which is increasingly worse to do. All right, new gaskets. Well, they're on. If you can tell. Battery died. Anyway, we got gaskets on this thing. Carburetors. Like I said, they are preset right now. So let's fight getting these things on. Because we knew how much of a fun they were getting off. Oh, there's still a washer on that one. Get rid of that washer. Stay. All right. Come on, fat fingers. Boop. So, let me chase these threads. I might put a little bit of anti-seize on these things. Already put it on the back stud because that's mainly the more pain in the butt one. But yeah, let me get this done. Slam the carbs on, and I guess you can join me for what? Fuel system would be next. Carbs are bolted down. Right now, I'm trying to guesstimate fuel tube height for, well, obviously fuel tubes, hoses. It doesn't have to be crazy high because, like I said, it is feeding off the back now. And it's just going to go left and right. I think I said, I typically run this line or the back hoop out of metal, but I'm not feeding this carb from the front. I'm going to feed them both from the back. So therefore, there's no point in me running a metal line to the other side. It'll just be rubber. Also, because it's rubber, I really don't have to insulate it because rubber is, you know, on insulation. Only thing I do have to insulate is that line going down. Just for, you know, heat soak. Or my scissors. Not the wire cutters. Pretty sure they sent me the wrong stuff. Well, it's the right stuff, wrong size. Maybe it's the right size. Slide this down. Find that hole again. Yeah. What I'm going to do just to make my life a little easier is this bottom, what goes into that firewall, or, you know, fan shroud, crimp it over some, give it some wraps of electrical tape, and this is just going to hold it. Hold it, you know, on the skinny setting so that I can go through that hole. Oh, there's my other tube of electrical tape. Of course, that hole is not the normal size. Give me a second. Fixed. All right, guys, I jumped ahead a bit. Well, not really, just boring stuff. Alternator, wired, ran in. The wires for the Dizzy, they're connected, ran. Oil pressure, done. Fuel line's connected. I got to put in the puke tube. Shit. Just a aluminum thing I bent up. Hold please. Road draft tube, puke tube, whatever, 1/2 inch. Like I said, the owner said he had issues with his other setup. This should alleviate it. I gotta clean up the edges. This should fix that issue. If I can find sandpaper. I need to clean this up a bit. That'll work. I got a rough edge. You in? I think you're in. There you go. Push to connect fitting and aluminum tube. Road draft, puke tube, what have you. It's removable. Push to connect, hence the name. Let's see. Let me finish running the fuel line. So all I have left is throw a pump in. It's on the table. Like I said, I already have power under there, so I'm just gonna boop, tie it into it. Throw the pump on, connect the frame to engine line, and hopefully turn this engine and bust it off. See what happens. Oh, I got to adjust the valves too. That'll be, we'll do that after. They didn't sound too bad when it came in, so I'm not really too concerned about them. We'll go back and adjust them because the valve covers are leaking, so we'll fix them. But yeah, like I said, they sounded all right. The car ran all right to a certain extent. It ran good enough for me to tune, or it's good enough for me not to worry about trying to tune it. What else? And we still got the starter we got to throw in, but I know the thing will crank, hopefully. If it doesn't crank, well, guess what? We'll put a starter in. But if it does, if it cranks off fine, like I said, the owner said that he has problems when it's a hot start. I guess like heat soak, that solenoid is probably going out. So we'll cross that, ravine when I decide to. But as long as it cranks when I need it to crank, to tune this engine, we're fine. I can throw in a starter later, kind of thing. So let me get this rest of this fuel system sorted out, and I'll be back. All right, guys. It has actually been a few days. Well, a day. Got the car wrapped up, not last night, the night before. Had something come up last night. Couldn't do anything in the shop. Not that it matters to you, but wasn't able to make any progress yesterday on the car. So let's see this thing fire up. Got everything wired. Everything's connected. I'll just take you for a quick tour. Fuel line back here. Connected. I did reconnect this heater box. It was not connected. And the fuel pump. New fuel pump installed right there. They are potted with M6x1, so if that pump ever decides to die, and yes, if you watch my other video with the bus putting that fuel pump on, I did at least bench test it, so hopefully that one's going to work. And I don't know if you heard me say, or if I have it in the video, this car did have air conditioning at one point. The other thing, I did talk to the owner, and he is not concerned. I don't know how much of my rant of this video I put in, but I do complain about the on Super Beetles, especially. I can't turn the wheel. The brake lines are unsupported, so it's just this flex line, and then that steel brake line. I don't like it. It's like I said, I ranted. I don't know if I have it in here about people, I don't know, valuing money or time. And then I will throw a cotter in this because it is missing. But yeah, not really concerned about it or price too much. I don't think I'm expensive, guys, but I mean, whatever. Anyway, let's try to start this thing before I start going into another rant. See how close this tune is. Make sure everything works. Make sure we have no leaks. Still don't know where my green flashlight went. The bad thing is, it's a magnet. And I know I stuck it to something. Problem is, I don't know what the hell I stuck it to. I was looking for it the other night. And I'm still kind of quasi looking for it. All right. Other than just throwing the carburetors on, no idea where we are setting wise, timing wise. Like I said, the car did drive here, or drive off the trailer in here. So I know it at least starts and runs, idles. It sounded okay. Valve wise, I will do the valves on this car. I'm just not doing them currently. Because I'm not doing them currently. Yeah, I have no idea. I bet you if I watch my footage, it'll show me exactly where I put it. I have no idea currently where I stuck it. I've checked all the usual places, like on the lift, on my bench. I don't know. Let's hear this thing. Let me get, you know what? Let me get my timing gun set up, all that good stuff, because we'll probably have to adjust timing on this. I also want to get the engine warm so I can change the oil. And I'll adjust valves tomorrow. So give me a second. Let me get my gun set up, and then we'll proceed from there. So real quick, obviously everything's wired because we're ready to fire it. I think I showed it, but I'm not really sure. Everything's been lengthened and wired and connected. Everything is ready to go. So give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, timing gun is on, hooked up. Itch. Final check. I think I have everything wired. Battery. Well, lights on, so battery obviously is connected. All right, let's try this. Good thing if the base timing is correct. I hear the pump. That's plus. Good thing is the base timing is correct. 4. 4. Yeah, if the base timing is correct and my base tuning is correct, this thing should hopefully just fire. Kind of like that. Didn't sound the healthiest starting. I heard the alternator kicked on. I was just gonna jump the light. Base map, I don't know if it'll pick up. 1100, we're charging 14.4, 14. I'm getting 12 of base. Sorry, I'm getting 14 of base. A little bit too spicy for me. I will go with 12. Timing's right where I want it to be. This thing's running real good. How close did I get it? Five and a half. 5.5. Seven and a half, 8. Yeah, 7, 8 on that side. 6 on this side. Got to bring down the driver's side some. 6. We got 5. Idling right at 1,000. Running smooth right now. Usually this is a good dividing rod when it starts jumping around like this. It sounds good. No pops. Let's see if I can get anything out of her. When I adjust the idle mixture, I'm going to watch my thing, my RPMs, and try to get the highest I possibly can out of it while I'm doing this. We're 12.3 now. I can hear the alternator alternating. The light on the cluster isn't on. I don't know if you can see in there. But we're not putting out power now. That should be like 14, like it was. I don't know if a high pitch whine's picking up in my mic, but if it is, that's the alternator. Well, sounding like it's producing power. $12.7 is the highest it went to. It's 12.5 now. I don't know if you can make that out. 12.4. I don't hear the alternator anymore. What the hell? So we're not charging. Okay. Yeah, we're 12.3 right now as far as that's concerned. Unplug this. Well, we know it did charge. I heard it kick on, and it was whining, like it's producing power. What we're going to do now is maybe we're going to try to cheat it, starting it. Where's my test light? If you didn't know, you can hotwire generator circuits. Kick them on if like your bulb's not working or something like that. Let's get a test light, incandescent bulb. The 12 volt off your post, just touch that charge, your spade terminal, and well, it should start. Or it should fire it up. At least you can diagnose it from here. Oil pressure light's on. Obviously, the charge light's not on because it's not connected to anything. Let me just double check that didn't come on. I'm pretty sure it did. I mean, it was working. Alternator's only alternate if that's connected. Yeah. Alternator light did come on. That is alternator light. All right, I'm not going crazy. Yep. Generator light. Alternator light, what have you. Tape that up so it doesn't interfere with anything. You fire it up. All right. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. Voltage right now is 11.9. It's running strictly off the battery. So what I'm going to do, we'll just use this. It's right now hot. I'm going to touch that back post. This light should turn off, and it's going to do whatever it's going to do. We're still at 11.9, 12 volts. Back post, 12.2, 12.1. Those things hardly putting anything out. That's working. Well, new problem. I'm wondering, let's put a load on the car. I'm wondering if now the alternator's been his starting problem and not the starter. Because he says after he goes, I think I said this in the video, the reason he wanted a new starter was because it goes on drive, gets somewhere, and, well, the car doesn't start. The solenoid just clicks. The car does have a tender in it, so if it lives on a tender, your initial start wouldn't necessarily, you'd notice because it should be a charged battery, but your duration of drive you would notice due to the fact that, well, you're running on battery power. So I want to load this battery up some. We're at 11.5 right now on the battery. I'm kind of trying to drain it. Right now, I can tell you the battery's weak. I will plug the charge wire back in because I know it works. That wire seems loose. It might be the diode trio. Yeah, 11.5. Lights are on. Let's see if I can initiate a click scenario with a weak battery. Yep. There's the click. That's a bad alternator. Ain't no charging. As I said, his high beams didn't work. It's not something I want to test. Indeed, the switch is not working. Okay. We have a bad battery. Or, well, could be one of two things. Bad battery. But the alternator, because there is a charge, should try to bring it back to life. Obviously, it's bad. We're only at 12.3 now. Or alternator. We know the alternator's not alternating because I can't even jump it to live. And you can test these things just by doing that. So I'm immediately going to say it is the alternator. I have a good used one. Let me call him. Like I said, if I don't have to put a starter on, I'm not going to put a starter on. The best part about this now is, well, actually, it doesn't screw with really anything because I don't have anything connected. Okay. Complete worst case scenario avoided due to the fact that I didn't attach anything yet to the carbs. They're adjusted in, but the only thing that's on here right now is this linkage rod, which isn't adjusted. It's not even connected, which is rare because I usually connect one side to run throttle. Because I have to take that off to obviously get this off. Well, I really don't. I just have to undo these screws and slide a bar, but I really don't like doing that. I can just take off the top hat. I might just undo and slide. What the hell am I talking about? I can't do that. That's for the, yeah, I got to take off the top hat. Feels like I've been working for 12 hours already. I have not been. All right, let me make a phone call, see what he wants to do. But yeah, it's warm. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like hot, but it's not happy. Oh boy. All right, let me make a phone call, see what he wants to do. Like I said, I got a used alternator. I know it worked. It came off of that bus that we put air conditioning in. Should be on that shelf because I also have a new one, but the new one's a more expensive option. And, well, I don't think we're going with that route. I could be wrong. Yeah, I got a used one on shelf. It's already built out. So that means all I gotta do is rip this one out, put that one in, put the fan and stuff on. Still gonna take time, but it'll be about the same. I could work the price out to be about the same as what it was cost to put a starter in, like labor and part kind of thing. Try to help people, but this, yeah. All right, I'll be right back. Let me see what the hell we're doing. Engine sounds good though. Still got to adjust the valves, change the oil. But other than that, oh, check out something in the front end. You said lineman shop said words, or a shop said words, like adjustment or tow. I'm doing that out of the gracious of my heart because, well, the budget just ain't there to fix it correctly. So it's going to be safe for me. It will be safe, but I'm not sure. And then there's a broken wheel stud that apparently is glued in. What I'm told, something on the driver's side. I got to pull them off. So let me make some phone calls, check out a front end real quick, and come back in my normal, delightful manner. All right, guys. Found the issue. Which one is it? Oh, it's this one where my flashlight's pointing. I don't know how well you can see in there. Probably terribly, but that's JB Weld. The owner said it was glued in. It's JB welded in. I did just order, because I don't stock it. These are M14 by 1.5s. Yeah, M14 by 1.5s. I just ordered a helicoil kit. I am going to put a helicoil in here. 3 are good. 1 is bad. I don't necessarily recommend using a helicoil to fix it. Ideally, you replace the drum. But then again, I know that isn't an option, and I'm done arguing. Helicoil is safe. They are running wheel adapters. So it's basically, I'm putting it on, I'm red Loctiting it in. That stud is not going to come out without, an act of Congress, and that's never going to happen. So it's going to be a permanent solution until the drums get replaced, because that's the only other option at that point. The drums will get replaced. Again, do I feel right about doing it? No, I'd rather it be repaired correctly, but I know that's most likely going to be an uphill battle, because doing the alternator, he did not sound thrilled about doing the alternator, even though I said your price wasn't changed. I get sour too, guys. I really do. And it's mainly I try to benefit everybody with fixing these cars. And I'm just not a fan when it seems like you're expecting a cheaper price, or to me, I take it as I'm trying to take advantage of you. I'm not. I say this in multiple of my videos. I'm not trying to make it rich doing this. I just want to keep these damn things on the car. And I think I'm fairly damn reasonable. So with that said, I don't know what that red mark is. It just caught my eye. With that said, let me start changing out an alternator. All right, just real quick, full disclosure on this one. I might show highlights. I'm just basically want to get this thing done. So I don't know how much I'm going to show. It's an alternator replacement. At least on dual carbs, super simple. I'm just going to take this hat off again, pull the bar, 4 screws, pull this thing out. Well, take the belt off, pull this thing out, take the fan, transfer the fan, slam a new one back in, and I'll be back. If I have any complications, which I'm sure I will because, well, inevitable with what I do, I'll bring you in. But if it goes smoothly, next scene, hopefully we just have another alternator on this. Real quick, just pull the pulley off. It's over there somewhere. I've never seen a washer here, shim washer. There, don't know why that would be there. They're supposed to be, like I said, I have a spare. It's a spare Bosch, so it's whatever. They're supposed to be this. Nothing here. I don't know why they be putting a spacer on there. So that's now a concern of mine. And I mean, it is a rebuilt-ish or used. It's not the original alternator, but yeah, let me keep going with this. But yeah, I found that interesting. Again, don't know why that would be there. Pretty sure I just lost footage. Anyway, I knew it as soon as I clamped it down. Should have hit the unrecord button. Just tested the battery in this thing. It's bad. It'll need one eventually. I was just basically, you just heard me ramble for 60 seconds while it ran its test. So I'm going to switch battery chargers now because that Viking's really good at power supply and I don't know where the hell to put you. Power supply and jump starting. Stay there, don't fall. And jump starting, but it really sucks at desulfating or bringing back a battery. Yeah, we're at 69% on this one. This is a Prologic Solar. Solar's the brand, not how it does things. Not AMG. I'm gonna throw it on this bad boy. Start. And let it do its thing. See if it can bring back that battery. But yeah, we have a charging issue. So alternator's out. I'm gonna swap it with the other one. Fairly quick, just a little pain in the butt because of these fan shrouds, the 36 horse, whatever the hell they're called, to get them out, you have to basically take them out like this so that spring goes up. So you're walking a fine line between it popping up and it, dingle-dongling you right in the back. So let me get this swap real quick, put it back together. Hopefully we have a charging system. It's back together. And that belt's fine. I don't know why that shim. If I put that shim on, it would have pushed that the alternator a lot further forward. Anywho's, what I'm going to do is we're going to try this again. I do not care about timing. Timing doesn't change. I care about getting these leads out so that I can do that. Let me unplug this wire. So the wire that would energize the system, that's unplugged. 14.9 on the battery right now because it's on the charger. Let me unplug the charger. Should give me enough juice to do juice things. Yeah, 13.8. Let me get my little probe light out. We're gonna, like I said, I know the charging circuit's working as far as the loop goes, but I want to manually kick this thing on and see that thing do something, hopefully. So hopefully there's enough juice in this battery to start. Yep. Come on, keep running. All right, 13, 12.9, 12.8. So the battery is batterying, well, draining. See if I get both in one shot. I doubt you'll be able to see this. We're at 12.6, 12.5. Come on, 12.4. Take my word at it. Like I said, I'm gonna manually jump this circuit. So positive with the light. That should turn it on. 13.5, 13.6. System is charging. I'll plug that back in. So generator is generator. Alternator is alternating. Running damn good. 14.1. All right, let me shut her down. All right. 14.1. I just want to make sure the generator light shut itself off on the dash because it was on. So, all right. Charging system fixed. Oil change, valve adjustment. Do that in the morning when all the stuff's cold. Well, I'll do the oil change tonight. Owner says he runs 30 weight. I'm going to put straight 30 weight in this thing because he said he had whatever 8 gallons of the stuff or something like that, 8 quarts. So I'll put 30 weight in because that's what he runs and that's what he wants to run instead of my usual Rotella. That doesn't matter to me. If this is what you're running, you're running. Some people are more professional than I am. But with that said, I think the next scene should be on the road. Like I said, the whole thing was the engine wasn't responsive. It was doggy. The jets made sense on why that would happen. Timing was good. A couple odds and ends. No charging. Another reason probably was doggy. It was running like an electric car. Terrible. I just got to connect these things. They're not going to be a big deal. There. How close are they to begin with? They're actually not bad. I gotta tighten the throttle cable. Gotta move that one. That's a little weirder of a pull than I like. I gotta adjust them at third of link, John, but really not a big deal. Definitely gonna adjust them up some because they're weirdly adjusted currently, in my opinion. Not a big deal. It's just whoever put the skid on. Well, like I said, let me, next scene should be us on the road. Engine's good. I also have to drive it because apparently he has a weird front end thing going on that I don't know. If it's simple, I'm just going to take care of it because I'm done arguing. I just don't have it in me at this point. If it's more of a pain in the ass, it's going to be reschedule kind of thing and come back. Because, yeah, phone call was he didn't like that the car didn't idle. Then it turned into, after everything's running, my main concern was the front end, which is okay. Anywho, again, ranting. I might leave this rants in here, but I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing. But anyway, join me for whatever I come up with next. All right, guys. I've been making off-camera progress, getting this thing ready for test drive, hopefully tomorrow morning. I was planning on it today, except developments happened. Did put a helicoil in one of these, so the bolt is actually there. I was tightening the brakes because the master was empty, so it went somewhere, or it had a rear brake job, I can tell. As new shoes back there, or newer shoes back there. Maybe they forgot to top off the reservoir when maybe they bled the system. I don't know. But I don't see any signs of a leak yet. I mean, it's still dry under there. But yeah, like I said, helicoil kit, what have you. But I noticed the brake pedal was low. So I was adjusting the shoes. Typically, if you have a low brake pedal, you have bad shoes or out of adjustment shoes. Hopefully, and it's not air in the system. But this wheel, yeah, something's not happy in that drum. So again, this is at least the part where YouTube funding comes in to a certain extent, because I know I'm not going to be able to, get paid for this repair, but also I don't feel like dying. So I'm going to blow this drum apart, see what blew apart, replace what's needed. It sounds like a spring or one of the keepers might have blew off because of the adapter plate. It's the only drum doing it, so I don't know. But yeah, let me pull this wheel apart and we'll see what's going on together. All right, that dust cap was a complete pain in the butt to get off. Basically beat the ever-living crap out of it and finally came off because I was stubborn and I did not want to take the adapter ring off. On me, but whatever. I'm gonna have to back off, hopefully be able to back off those pads enough to get this thing out. Shoes, whatever. Yeah, because I need to obviously run these back so I can get the drums out. This thing is going to need a brake job. I'm not going to say in the future, like near future, but sooner than later. In the front, like I said, the rears have been replaced. That sounds good. Sounds real good. Spring. Brand new spring. That spring's there. It's fine. Put this on. You didn't know Super Beetles run two of these small springs on the bottom versus one long one. Why, I don't know. But they do. I hate these brakes. And the hook it the other way is more or less a pain in the butt. Skinnier pliers. It's not like there's a lot of force on those things. I will put a piece of string on you. Yeah, I hate that they put the tab on this way versus the other way. Stay enough. Doing! That sound means I got it. Brakes are adjusted. These are pretty grooved. It's going to need front brakes. Like I said, you can see this. Here, I'll bring you in. You can see what I'm talking about. I think I said the way the line, soft line is. Yeah. Pads or shoes are pretty grooved. But yeah, all that's supporting this soft line is that hard line. So every time you turn, you're flexing this. I don't like it. Maybe the owner is going to want to address in the future, but currently it does not pass my my sniff test. Yeah, let's button this thing back up. I think I've said this in the video already. I care about myself first and foremost when it comes to driving these cars. So, knowing I could do one of two things. Not drive this car and tell the owner to pick it up and address it at a later date kind of thing. Or B, just fix the damn thing and eat the cost so I can drive this car. I took the fix it to drive it because, well, I stand by my stuff and I want it to work well. There's my other flashlight. I had a adjustable over here. Maybe I didn't. I had an adjustable to do that side. But yeah, let me get this thing buttoned up. And next scene, hopefully, we're going to be on the road. I put it with my welder. Yeah, hopefully next scene, we're going to be on the road. Why are you locked up now? Like, just right there. I get schmutz or something in you? What the hell, over? There we go. Delivery acquired. I need my cell phone. Starting off well. Delivery acquired. Drop off, what have you. Cell phone. Let's take this thing out. Good news is it's warmed up, so we can just hit the road. Gen light works. Oh yeah, he was warning me about that speaker box. Like it should. Join me on the road. All right, guys. I will say one thing. Engine runs fine. Clutch lifts way high. I do feel a bit of a vibration out of the front end. I'll tell you, it's going to need a front brake job. They work, they're not great. And that's what adjusted. Also, I hate convertibles because I can never see behind me. Yeah, this clutch lifts really high. I feel the wander he's talking about. It does, well, meander a bit. I'm wondering, more or less, if it's the tires. Yeah, this thing needs a brake job. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's because it's the tires, the offset, because they stick out. If that's what's giving it. Because I'm not going to say it feels like normal, but sort of feels like normal. Nothing's loose as far as, I did put a cotter in that one castle, by the way. Nothing's loose. The alignment is, like I said, pretty spot on. Camber's pretty spot on. The tie rods felt okay. Like no slop, no nothing when I adjusted it. So I'm wondering if it is a tie rod issue. Maybe. Or if it's the wheels. These brakes are horrible. Third gear. It's pulling. Yeah, this thing has a bunch of wallering. It's going to have the most likely the classic Super Beetle front end rebuild, because it's like a waterbed up there. Trying to figure out exactly what the hell's going on. It needs springs, definitely. These are sacked out, so that's not helping. I don't know if the cartridges in these have been replaced. I think I've said this in a video or a different video. The brakes do work. except it feels like you have to do a lot of effort for no result. Yeah. I'm not going to say there's something wrong, like dangerously, with the front end. It's more or less tired. Yeah, it's gonna need a whole front end rebuild. It holds the road fine. Like, I'm not afraid of it. It's just I know it can be a lot better. Yeah, these, like I said, these brakes. I know I'm complaining about them a lot. But the reason I am is because now this engine is doing things. And your stopping power is limited. I mean, it cruises nicely. Yeah, I'm thinking master and wheel cylinders. Minimum. Obviously shoes, probably going to get into lines, but yeah, for this to be correct, it needs a full rebuild. But as far as the drivability goes, if you don't drive like me, like a complete psycho, you're fine. But yeah, I just I'm not a fan that I don't have a panic stop if I need it. And that could be, you know, like I said, multiple of things. Brake lines could be swole. Cylinders might not be working as they should. I had both drums off. They're not leaking, so I'm not concerned about that. Master typically on this issue, and also now, like I said, the nothing was leaking. But the lack of fluid in the reservoir tells me this one's is failing on the back seal. But we'll call a gentleman up, have him pick this thing up, and maybe it'll be back. I have a more better idea of what he's going to be entailed to with pricing. The engine's solid. It's a good little motor. All right, guys, we are back. Gen light stayed on. Yeah, I think the brushes were just dirty. I don't know how long that thing's been sitting on my shelf. And before you ask, I did check the other one, and the brushes were bad. So, like, broken wires. Anyway, hot start. No gas. All right. Runs, drives. Yes, there's a wobble issue. Airplane steering, not good. Bushing's out. Probably the reason the high beam's not working because it's all on the switch. It also doesn't self-cancel. What else? I don't think it's... The whole front end's screwed up. Flat out. Between the drop spindles that are on, or sorry, drop shocks. I don't know if the cartridges were replaced. The springs definitely weren't replaced. There's a lot of squish up there. I ended up putting in those rubber blocks just to stiffen up the front end a bit. I don't feel it's not a safety issue. I mean, if you're doing 90, it does have the stereotypical darty steering, but without, the big thing is the shocks and struts have to get replaced. Shocks, whatever. The springs and the cartridges have to be replaced in these things. Just because I know the suspension's sacked out. And when you're driving and it's, like a waterbed, it's not really good. So that's that. Bigger concern of mine are the brakes. They work, yes. But with that said, I think one of the kit cars I did, they had the brakes of, you put a lot of effort into it and you don't get the results you want. If you've ever had that experience, you know what I'm talking about. And like I said, it's one of two things. Either it's a failing master or the wheel cylinders are shot. I didn't see a leak anywhere, especially because I had both drums off. I didn't see a leak anywhere, at least in the front. The backs, they're not slimed, anything like that. But the reservoir was empty. Usually when a reservoir is empty and you can't find a leak, I don't know how long it's been empty, that's one thing. But usually when a reservoir is empty and you can't find a leak, it's the master cylinder, it's that back seal that's blown out. If you watch this channel long enough, you see me pull out plenty of them like that. But with that said, let me get you guys on the big cam, close out this episode, call up the owner, and let him know what's up. I might have a report in my outro. If not, I'll do an outro. Be back on the big cam. All right, guys, closing out the episode on the Super Beetle. Engine, top notch. It's running good. The engine's solid. I think I said in the car, my concerns about the car right now is the braking system. And, well, the front end, like I said, it doesn't feel like it's going to kill me. It's weird Super Beetle stuff. They're nichey to drive. It's completely different than a standard. But I don't know if you can tell. We got a bunch of tires stick out. So I think that might be causing a little bit of issue as far as steering geometry goes. Not saying it's 100% right, but that could be adding with it. Tie rods should be replaced. Basically, the front end needs a rebuild. Nothing safety of drive issue. Obviously, I drove it. If I thought it was going to be an issue, we wouldn't be driving it. But yeah, the springs they're sacked. So it is what it is on this one. As far as that goes, I'm going to leave it to the owner, obviously, at his discretion to see what he wants to do. I'll have an estimate for him what the full rebuild of the front end is. But yeah, the brakes and the Super Beetle Wander. The control, good news is the control arms and all the bushings, they're in good shape. I think it's just the undulation going on. Basically, you're driving a waterbed. So with that said, engine good, everything works. I'm happy. It was quick, easy. Car's charging now. I think I also said in the dash cam, I did pull the brush set out of the old alternator because it did charge and didn't, but the brushes were, I mean, minuscule. They were tiny. I thought they're somewhere over there actually. I'm not gonna go look, but yeah, they're at their last edge. I might have been able to get, a little bit of time out of them, nothing major. But with that said, car's good. Talk to the owner. He's coming to get it. We'll discuss what the future plans are of it when he gets here. But with that said, if you like this episode, however it came out, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. If you do, I promise you we will chit chat. As always, thanks for watching. Hopefully, see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.